Hey, what's up? This is Matt. I'm with Monte and David of Bleed the Sky, joining us from the West Coast today. Fellas, how's it going out there?
Howdy, hey, can't complain.
Doing awesome, brother. Thank you.
So, David, first off, it's not too often that we have a bass player. Usually it's a guitar player, singer, or something like that. So, pretty
Yeah,
stoked
man.
for that.
Yeah, dude. Stoked to be here. It's awesome. I get the pleasure of getting to meet a lot of faces, because Wayne, our guitar player, works quite often, and it's like long days for him. So this this uh this is always fun, get to meet new people, especially, you say you're from Ohio. It's like it's awesome. You're across the United States from me. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
So
So, okay, last time I talked to you guys was 9 months ago. Um, and looks like quite a bit has happened. Monty has replaced the other. What was the other guy's name?
Rudy.
Rudy. Yeah, because it's been like I said, 9 months, man. I've done like 100 and something, interviews since then, so I can't remember everybody's name. But yeah,
Oh, come
Monty
on.
has replaced Rudy. So tell me what happened there.
Basically, we just didn't all see eye to eye. We had our what we were used to doing and the way that we operate in our dynamic with the band. And Rudy's has a huge talent. His vocals are brutal. We wouldn't have made music with him if he wasn't, but just as far as the personalities went in the band, we just had to go a different direction. And we had a mutual agent, and when we were getting submissions and everything and listening to people that were trying to audition for the spot, even though we really didn't like go out and say we were searching for a singer or anything, we got it. Monty got in contact with us, and it went from there, man. It was pretty much, we jived right away. He got along with the guys. His performance and the dynamics of that dude, or I say that dude, but he's in front of me, of his vocals, and what he brings to the table is right up our alley and in the direction we want to go. And just the creativeness and his approach to the songs and what we had in pre-production and even things that we move forward with that are brand new with him. It's going great. I can't say that we made a poor choice by any means, taking the
Thanks,
leap and
man. I
getting with
appreciate
Monty.
that.
Yeah.
So, Monty, what's your
He's
story?
only saying that because I'm here right now. No, I'm kidding. What was that? I'm sorry.
I said, what's your story, man? Like, where was you in a band before these guys?
Yeah, man. I've bopped around the death metal scene for quite a while now, about a decade. Been bopping around different bands, filling slots, merch guy slots, you name it. I've been doing it. I played in a band called Alter Beast for a while. I have another band called Ember Throne that I'm currently in right now. That's on Seek and Strike Records. They're still active. But yeah, for the majority of my 20s, I was, trying to do the whole career musician thing, being on the road as much as possible. And in the last, 4 or 5 years or so, I've kind of tampered that down a little bit. And I was looking for something that was up my alley. That was something, obviously I could handle, but was still a challenge, and was something that was again like-minded with the guys I'd be in it with. As David mentioned, Wayne and Kevin and Austin, they're all professional dudes. They all have their families. They have their lives together. We're not trying to do Bleed the Sky 8 months on the road a year. Maybe when we were in our 20s, that'd be the only thing. But now we got mortgages, wives, jobs, et cetera, et cetera. So we want to make the most of what we can do. So it was a matter of kind of, threading that needle in that perfect storm, that Venn diagram, if you will, of do I like the music? And I've loved Bleed the Sky for 20 years. They were super influential to me back in my high school days. Is it the level of commitment that I'm able to withstand and able to achieve? And is it in my vocal wheelhouse, or in my, foreseeable vocal wheelhouse that I can, train and get up to? And there's definitely some stuff in old Bleed the Sky, a lot of the clean stuff that it's been, a really interesting and fun challenge for me to kind of take on. I've been taking vocal lessons and kind of expanding my vocal palette, if you will. And it's been really, really gratifying, really, really exciting. So again, just kind of finding those, 3 points, everything clicked. And then the icing on the cake was when we all hung out and kind of got on a conference call and got the talking, got to figuring each other out and kind of, seeing if the chemistry was there. And we hit it off like we were old friends. It was a really quick click in our minds. I think, at least on my end, was, yeah, this is going to work. This is going to work. We all get along really well. it's a good place to be. So, I've been in and out of the system. I've had the music industry chew me up and spit me back out. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride kind of a thing when it comes to trying to stick in my long-term band. But it really feels like I've landed the plane and we're in the right place.
Well, that's pretty awesome, man. I mean, also that the fact that you're, actually part of a band that was an influence on you, that's it's kind of like a almost like a like a dream come true type thing scenario.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man. I mean, I love Bleed the Sky, and our new single, The Parasite, has Mar Hunter from Chimaira on it. And I've said this a million times, but dude, 14-year-old me watching MTV2 Headbangers Ball, like, staying up past my bedtime to see, the video for Power Trip or something, and then hearing him now sing my lyrics and my phrasing on the song I helped write is just, it's little moments like that where, I'm not trying to pay my mortgage with music, but it's little things like that that's just kind of keep me going and keep me alive and keep me fucking stoked on the fact that I still get to do this after all these years. And now in this new foray with these fucking awesome dudes, I mean, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about the new single, The Parasite. Um, what's what's the meaning behind it? Is it just kind of, just spitting it out there, or is there like some kind of political or,
Yeah, it's kind of twofold. So I kind of wrote it about I recently did some I do every once in a while. I try to maintain the discipline to do a dopamine detox that I think I heard about on fucking Joe Rogan or something, but went down a rabbit hole, basically meaning like, hey, no television, no phone, no other than like direct communication, no scrolling, basically trying to get no porn, none of that shit. Just get it out of your brain for a week and see what happens to your mental health. If you're not staring at this thing, if you're not watching television, read books. The only reason you're on the internet is for work. And other than that, fuck off. Go outside, get your levels back to normal. And so kind of after doing that and seeing how effective it was, realizing that, if the song is called, the titular title of The Parasite, like that's not only this thing that's connected to us at every single turn of our lives. We're utterly addicted to it, and everyone you talk to pretty much is, and there's really no kind of way out or way forward on how we're going to address that in the future. And then the double entendre being that humanity is the parasite on the earth.
mm-hmm.
So that we're a parasite sucking us, and we're the parasite sucking the earth, and that we're only just using this as a tool to just wean ourselves and distract ourselves from all the awful shit going on, whether it be societal, political, climate, whatever. We just don't. There's too much, so we just use this to kind of cope ourselves away.
See the fluffy stuff.
Exactly. That the lyric, you kept warm while the fires lick your door as the dopamine demon drips. So it's like you're in your little room, you're on your phone, you don't care. The fires are literally fucking burning your house down, but you don't care because you get that little dopamine demon just dripping in the back of your head, and you don't care. So a lot of the stuff is about just these gnarly effects of happening that human beings are causing or human beings are instilling on ourselves, and we just keep pushing away from it. And no matter how bad it gets, we'll keep kind of turning towards this more, and then it just ever goes and goes and goes. It's a long answer, but that's the gist of it.
I appreciate the long answers. It's better to be thorough about it. That way you get a better understanding. I mean, because not everybody kind of connects to the same idea. You know what I mean when they hear the song. So
Yeah.
I knew that it was something to do with us being parasites, but the whole dopamine thing. I've never even heard of that, man.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not much of a Joe Rogan guy, so I've never really paid much attention to him. But I mean, that's very true. I mean, and especially with not even just us, but the younger generation. I mean,
Yeah.
it's constant, and I say something about it all the time to the girls here. I'm like, why don't you, when I was a kid, I'd go out and ride my bike. I couldn't wait to get up and go out and play football or, do something. And they're like, yeah, I just want to sit in my room and, play on the phone. And it's,
Yeah. It pays to be bored, right? Like we when you were bored as a kid, like that was good. It was good to
Right.
go outside and be bored or just have your mind kind of take that off. I don't know. I hope that, my one hope for like the youth being that while they're more, it's affected them more. I think they're still at that point where as generations come, maybe the next generation after them will see that, holy shit, that stuff is terrible for us. Let's curb it. And unfortunately, there might be some shittiness that comes out of this generation when it comes to, I don't know, every generation says the next generation's fucked, right, in some capacity. But I just hope that, again, as they kind of come into it, they're born knowing it's there. They're going to be able to deal with it and curb it, because we didn't get these things until we, our balls had dropped, till we were like adults, you know what I mean?
Right.
So we're kind of more locked in on what we can do, and our ability to disseminate information, our ability to kind of curb and understand something for what it is, because it happens so slowly, like a frog in boiling water, right? It got so, oh, it's not bad, until everybody's fucking addicted to their phones. So hopefully, in a couple, I don't know, decades or whatever, when kids come up, they'll realize and they'll see that, and they'll be able to have a more healthy interaction with, the ubiquity of the internet and information. But who knows?
Yeah. I mean, there's days I leave mine at the house, if I gotta go to the store or something. Then I'm like, shit, because if the wife calls me, wants me to grab something that I forgot, or that she forgot to tell me or whatever. But yeah, I mean, there's days that like I just can't even stand it. And I mean, it's especially it's a good thing, because I've been getting, freaking emails out the ass from publicists all over the world. And it's been, great, but it's so hard to keep up.
It's overwhelming. Yeah, dude. I
Right.
feel
I'm
you.
like, I need a
feel you.
damn secretary or like an auto answer or
Right.
something.
Yeah, man. I mean,
But
luckily those tools are starting to come online. Like you can, but then again, it's just another thing that you got to do. It's another thing.
It's
You're
still something
finding
to
something else.
manage.
Yeah, it's still something to
yeah,
manage, to manage something, to manage something else, to manage something else. Yeah, it's fucking A. Anyway, The Parasite out now, it's
Yeah, right.
obviously apropos.
so is this part of a new album, or is this just a single that you guys released?
Just a single for now. Just a single for now. We got a lot of other stuff, baking in the oven that we're working on. We've been taking meetings with certain people about, doing more live stuff in the future. Obviously, we're not making music just to have fun, in our remote respective studios around the world. So we don't really know exactly how everything wants to play out. I mean, obviously someone can swoop in and there could be an offer here, there could be a discussion there that could change the strategy. So it's kind of, ever moving right now. It's not anything locked in, but we do have plenty of stuff in the oven that we're working on, finalizing some more stuff. And I think the plan as of now is just to keep putting out music in maybe one of two different capacities, methods rather. But yeah, things could change. But yeah, there definitely is more coming. This isn't just a one and done.
Right. And so is there any more is there any discussion about any other guest singers?
Not
There
right
might
now,
be.
right? Maybe.
There might be. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
Not right this second.
yeah, I mean, down the road for sure, maybe, but I mean, at this point, I think that having, at least in my opinion, I think having Mark come out and do this with us was awesome and sick. But I'd also like Monty to be able to make his own, you know what I mean? Like, and put out a song with Monty where it's just his path, you know what I mean? The whole time.
Right.
Not that, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't, it's great to have people on and it makes it cool and interesting as well. But at the same time, I'd still want, I'd like Monty to be able to do his thing and not have us pulling from other places. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. It's it was just kind of, threw me off a little bit, because I mean, when I was looking at 9 months ago, I've got the I used the cover photo for the actual interview, like the thumbnail. And then I'm looking at your press release and I'm like, where the hell did the guy go? And then I started reading and I'm like, oh, new singer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you guys have been part of Nuclear Blast Records, and like you said, you've had the music biz chew you up, spit you out. Um, what about you, David? I mean, you're one of the original members, aren't you?
I joined Bleed the Sky originally in 2006, and then I left for a bit and came back. But I mean, it feels like, I wasn't on Paradigm. I did writing for Murder the Dance, and then the last record that we put out, This Way Lies Madness. That was the last lineup that we had with Noah originally, and then like I said, when we moved away from working with Noah and went and got Rudy, you know, we only put that one track out, and then obviously the dynamic didn't work out in personalities, so we took the step to go forward and found Monte. So
Okay. So like as far as like musically, where did you start? When
musically, I started in San Antonio, Texas. Originally, I was in a local band out there, and so Believe the Sky would be coming through Texas. They were on back in the day when there was Jaeger bands, you know,
Mhm.
and so Believe the Sky was on Jaeger. They were a Jaeger band, and Brotherhood was a Jaeger band, and the band that I was in San Antonio, and I was the guitar player, right? Originally, when I first joined Believe the Sky, I was the guitarist. Um, and so I was playing dates with those guys with my band from Texas. We just go and hit all like Austin or San Antonio, Corpus Christi, any of the, you know, that region, that Texas region, you know, and play those dates. And so I became friends with those dudes. And then Kyle, their guitar player, had left the band to move on to do other things. He's like an audio, he's like a producer now. And they had Noah, or the original singer, had called and talked to my singer in San Antonio. I was like, hey, you know, we want to talk to Dave about flying out to California to possibly join Bleed the Sky as the guitarist, you know. And so I was at work and I get this phone call from my singer, you know, or excuse me, my ex-wife. And she's like, hey, Rod called. This is before cell phones again, right? So Rod, she hits me up and she's like, yo, Rod called. You need to call this number. It's Noah from Bleed the Sky. They want you to come in audition for their lead guitar spot. And I'm like, all right, fuck, really? Like, holy shit. Like Monty, you know what I mean? Like, you know, if you fell into it, dude, you
Hell
know what
yeah.
but I was a fucking, I had Paradigm. I bumped that shit all the time, dude. You know what I mean? I loved Bleed the Sky. I was already like friends with those dudes. You know what I mean? But it was like I was a, you know, same kind of situation. I was the dude that listened to those dudes and knew the songs. You know what I mean? And so they had me come out and we jammed in Austin's mom's living room. You know, cranked up a couple stacks. Wayne had showed up, and Wayne had just gone through his deal with his hand. He'd been getting sick and his nerve damage and everything. So he wasn't playing guitar at that point, but he was there hanging out. You know what I mean? It was like we were already vibing because we all knew each other. And yeah, so I did we did that record and everything, and did all the writing for that. And then my at that point my daughter was 4 years old and, you know, needed her dad around, and it wasn't my time, you know. And I was just
Right.
like, I was just straight up with him. I was like, look, dudes, you know, I gotta at that, and that was just a lot of things at that point where it was just like, you know, I was like 26 years old, 27, like, you know, I had a 4 year old, like I jumped into it, and it was like, when you're not in it and you're not doing it every day and seeing what that lifestyle is like, and you go out and it's like they're broke, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like I drove 2,000 miles and went out because I was, you know, it was going to be this certain way. When you get here, this is how it's all lined up. And then I got there, and my first night you know, out there, like it we were supposed to end up, it was a funny situation. We were supposed to end up living in the rehearsal space in Anaheim, right? It was going to be Noah and I and this my buddy Ryan, who's the was the bass player for Bleed the Sky as well, when I was playing guitar. And so I drove out from Texas, and I got there, dude, and we get to this rehearsal space that I'm loading my shit in, and we're all hanging out and just doing our thing. And then the guy that runs the place, and he's like, hey, you guys get wasted one night and like need to stay here. It's cool, but you can't live here because it's against fire code. I just left my life in Texas completely, quit my job, drove 2,000 miles, left my wife and my 4 year old, and I'm fucking homeless. So luckily,
Dude.
my friend Steve who played guitar for OTEP, lived in Hollywood, and we made a phone call and we stayed at his house for a couple weekends, and then I ended up going down to San Diego and getting an apartment with a couple of the guys, and that's how I met Kevin, who's our guitar player now. Originally, he was in a band called Odd Kick with this dude Jeremy, who ended up taking me and the rest of the guys that moved out to join Bleed the Sky originally into his home so we could write a record. You know what I mean? So it all just it wasn't the right timing, dude. And I long of the short, I left and went and did my life, and I was not playing and out playing the music. I mean, I played constantly and stuff, but wasn't out like chasing the dream. And I got a random phone call on my son's 9th birthday, and it was Noah, like, hey dude, we're thinking about doing this again and writing a record, blah blah blah. Would you consider like playing bass? And I'm like, well, I've never been a bass player. I've always been a guitar player my whole life. You know what I mean? I started playing a guitar when I was a 9-year-old kid, so like I was like, let me think about it. So I talked to Noah, I talked to my kid and stuff, and my girl and everything. And I was like, I love playing music, period. And whether it's vocals or bass or sitting on the fucking drum kit and getting down, I love to play music. So what a better opportunity to get to go and do that and get to create and have fun with dudes that I know are at the caliber that the dudes in the band are at,
Right.
and have the opportunity to just write and create. And so I took the leap, and I was like, yeah, I'll play bass. You know what I mean? Like, to me at first, I was like, I'm not a fucking bass player, dude. You know what I mean? But as we toured and as we wrote and as the relationships and grew with the band lineup and how we work together, it's like picking up. I mean, it's not my first instrument, but it's my instrument. You know what I mean? Like I love it, dude. And that's kind of where it all started, and here we are.
Yeah, OTAP's actually getting ready to come here.
Nice, dude.
I think it's a 20 or 30 years something or another. I can't remember what
wow.
it is, but yeah, they're coming.
Yeah, it's like 20 years. They've been out for a while.
Yeah, I was gonna try to get a hold of their people and see if we can't lock something down to do a live interview when they come.
That'd be
Oh
rad.
yeah, dude. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I like doing the Zoom thing. It's cool and all, but with the live interview, not only are you there with the person and
Yeah.
really experiencing the whole thing, you're also checking out the show.
Right.
And, like I thought one of the ones I did that I really enjoyed was Adrian Patrick from Otherwise.
Nice.
Very energetic, put on a hell of a show, and talk to him. He's like, hey man, I'll get with you here in a little bit. He's like, I could go down to the merch table, get my gas money, and whatever. He did a few shots, so when he come back, he was all loose, I was all loose. It was a cool interview.
That's good, dude.
That's
It's good.
the best, man.
It's great when people are vibing together. It makes it it's not ever nice to talk to somebody that makes the conversation uncomfortable.
Yeah. Or somebody who is just really standoffish, or is a yes or no person.
Right.
That's I actually talked to Doyle, and I didn't even post that one because it was so difficult. I could not really get him to engage in conversation whatsoever.
Oh, that sucks, man.
And
I'm sorry to hear that.
he was just like, he said, I mean, it was set up via phone, and like when I talked to him, he kind of did it was like he didn't even know it was supposed to happen. So I was like, man, I'm sorry, I just want to ask you a few questions, whatever. But he's actually getting ready to come back too. I mean, I just talked to Steve Zing, who played with the Misfits, Danzig's, whatever. He's getting ready to release some new music, so
nice.
getting ready to post his interview. But yeah, man, I mean, it's a fun ride, dude. Just like what you guys are doing. I mean, you love to play music. I love to listen to music. I appreciate you guys for what you do. I appreciate the music that you're putting out. And the time that you're taking aside from your busy and normal lives to do what you're doing. It's
yeah.
It does, man.
It's just how whether it be musicians or artists or anybody that has that creativeness, dude, that's just how we're wired, especially like lifetime people, like we're shit, man, I'm in my 40s, you know what I mean? I want to bang my head until it falls off, bro. What I mean? Like until I can't,
right now
we're still doing
this. I got this damn cramp or pain right in here, and I'm like, yeah, it's from all them years of head banging and
Yes,
around in
yes.
and
Why,
shit.
why does my back feel like that? Oh yeah, it's because I've had my leg on monitor slamming for 20 years. You know what I mean? But it's the truth, dude. But
That and all the staircases we've had to load in,
oh
there's that
god,
Oh,
too.
I'm sure.
you love
Yeah.
that, dude.
Just
Venues.
showing up to a load in and there's the venue's upstairs. It's like, or downstairs is somehow worse. I mean, it's like when you're done playing, you have to load it back out up.
Yeah. Yeah. Going
Oof.
down the stairs ain't so bad, but after you spend an hour or so on stage and everything, and then you got to pack everything up and go back up. Yeah, I get that.
Oh, I know there's just venues around this lovely country of ours that whenever I would see them on tour on ad mats, I'd just be like, it's a great city, but god damn it, my back already hurts
Yeah,
looking at that, thinking about that
gotta
staircase.
walk up that damn thing with all the gear.
Yeah, yeah, fun
Yeah,
stuff.
and it's not like we're we go on the road with a entourage of dudes. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's
Yeah.
like merch, driver, tour manager, how kind of that all works out, and the band members and a couple people, man. So it's us that take it in and us that take it out. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I'm
It's
grateful for the amp modelers, I'm grateful for the
Yeah,
technology that's advanced because
yeah.
if I never have to fucking lift a Ampeg fridge up a 2 flights of stairs in Canada again, I can die happy as a musician, man. Good
Yeah.
lord.
Yep. Yep. I
Seriously.
mean, it's there's a lot of work that goes into it, man. I mean, and that's what a lot of people. I think true music fans really they realize it, but just your people that are like, yeah, man, let's go to a concert and let's go check these guys out. I don't think they really understand fully of what goes into setting all that stuff up and the production of the show. And it's like, I was just talking to Elias from Nonpoint, and they're
Mhm.
getting ready to go out and do this thing. It's the Twisted Wizard of Oz, and it's like this whole experience. And I was like, that it just seems really cool because I mean, who hasn't seen the Wizard of Oz? If you haven't, you live under a rock.
Right.
Yeah.
So it just it is, man. It's really cool to talk to you guys and just hear all the stuff that you do and the things that you've been through and stuff. And I mean, I really appreciate, like I said, your music. I appreciate you guys doing what you're doing, and most of all, I appreciate your time this evening.
Yeah,
Likewise,
it's
man.
been
We
awesome to be
appreciate
here,
you
man.
giving us the
Yeah.
platform to talk about this. And anyone
Yeah.
that wants to listen, we're more than happy to chat. Anybody out there hearing this, hit us up on the internet and let's keep the conversation going. We're super excited about this new single. We're super excited about this new chapter, I think. I mean, can't speak for the guys. I haven't been in the band for the last 20 years, but we're all really vibing out on what we're creating and what we're pushing forward. And I legitimately think that we are getting better. Obviously we just
Mhm.
started this path together. I've just met these guys like 6 months ago. You know what I mean?
Right.
And from here forward, we put out the Parasite. We're super proud of that. And then in doing that, we've really been able to tinker with the chemistry and how we're able to write music and how we're able to bring more of our energy and more of our best foot forward creative wise, to the mix. So it's only going to get better. The shit's only going to get it cooler, and I think we're only going to gel even better. So the stuff we've got in the oven, I wish I could talk about it more. I wish we could, release a new song tomorrow. But it's fucking cool, and
Mhm.
it definitely feels in this trajectory. It feels on this frequency, and again, we're just learning each other's strengths. We're learning how this chemistry works and how to make the concoction, how to make the most potent potion, and
Right.
that's coming. So everybody out there hearing this, check out the Parasite, the videos on YouTube with Mark Hunter, and keep your eyes peeled. Make sure to follow us on Spotify, on all your favorite social media, heroin drip things that social media
Yeah,
is.
right. Stay off your
Whatever you're
phones, but
addicted
check out
to.
our video.
Yeah,
Stay off your
whatever
phone,
you're
but watch
addicted.
our video.
This song is about how you're all addicted to the thing that I'm telling you to check it out on. Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like to get meta right out the gate. I'm getting fucking meta, man.
Oh shit. All right, guys. Well, we're about out of time. So, like I said, I really do appreciate your time. I'm gonna get this edited. I'll send a copy to Shauna. I'll send it to your socials. We'll get it all set up, and that's what I'm here for, man. Is for you guys to be able to talk about your music and what you do and this and that, so that other people can that haven't, heard of you or anything like that can, say, hey, now I know who Bleed the Sky is. I like this song, and I put all that
Hell
stuff
yeah.
in the description. So there's going to be, the Parasite video is going to be in there, your Facebook, all your socials. So all they got to do is click,
Awesome.
and there you go.
Fuck yeah,
Thanks,
man. We really
brother.
appreciate
Appreciate
it.
that.
Hope to see you when we play out in Ohio. Hopefully sometime in the near future. We'd love to kick it with you, get a beer.
Yeah, man. I mean, come on out here and say about June or July. It might be about 40 below, since it's 71 and
Right.
Everything
Yeah,
was
it'll
flipped.
flip.
Got it. Got it. Cool.
all right, guys.
All right.
Have a good
Stay
one.
safe, brother. Take
Until
care of
next
yourself.
time.
All right.
Cheers, man.
Later,
Peace.
bro.